Adam, welcome back to King Abdulaziz Racecourse. 2 days out from the Saudi Cup, the world's richest race. And we're going to be taking you through some of the leading contenders throughout the course of the morning. Delighted to say that from America, joining us this morning, we've got Kenny McPeek and Mike Mackin as well, who are the trainer and owner of Rattle and Roll. Welcome to you both. I know the horse has been here a bit of time, Kenny. You weren't here for the trial run, but I guess you've been pleased to be here and see him on the track this week.
Yeah, absolutely. The colt came here almost 2 months ago now. So he's been here a while, plenty of time to acclimate. He's thrived, and we've been really pleased with how the whole process has gone. It's a fantastic event to be involved in, and I'm fortunate. Mike Mackin has given me opportunity with his horses in America, and this is a horse that has rewarded us for the time we've given him, and he's a graded winner at 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 years old, which is a really amazing accomplishment.
And what was the thinking about bringing him out here early and running him in the qualifier as opposed to bringing him in straight for the race itself?
Well, the horse had a really, really good fall in the United States. He won the stake at Churchill in a very impressive fashion in November. And then Mike and I discussed, what are our options. We could have taken him to the Pegasus in Gulfstream Park in Florida, which is a fantastic race in itself. But we were approached by Mr. Mohammed Sharaf and his group, particularly through Karen McLaughlin, a friend of mine, prominent trainer that many of you may know, about bringing Rattle and Roll to Saudi Arabia. But we felt like the best path to the Saudi Cup was really the King's Cup. And the King's Cup has given us a perfect prep. We've got to run over the racetrack. Certainly a confidence builder, and he was impressive that day. So here we are, next step of hopefully one more, and we can make it to Dubai after this.
And he was really impressive in the custodian. They went really hard up front, but he looked like he was a horse who just joined it at the top of the stretch. The way he weaved through in his finishing effort was phenomenal.
Well, it's his 11th career win, and this horse really is a very intelligent horse, knows how to run, knows when to finish, and I think you can't train that into him. He's just a really special horse, and he's handled about anywhere we've ever taken him. Mike and I have had some great trips. He's taken us all over the United States, and then now we've been able to travel here and hopefully many other places. But just a real honor to be around a horse like him.
And Mike, Kenny's talking about some of those great days you've had with the horse. Just talk us through some of the most memorable days you've had with this horse and what he's given you so far.
He's had a lot of them. I mean, like Kenny said, that was his 11th win. 10 of the wins are stakes races. He's only ran in one allowance race. It took him 3 times to break his maiden, and it's been all good since there. But I guess some of the most memorable moments have been actually some of the disappointments, where he was the first one left out of the Kentucky Derby as a 3-year-old. And then this past fall, we sent him out to Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup. And we get left as the first one out on the A list at the Breeders' Cup. And but it's days like the Custodian where he gets in and runs well and wins, and hopefully he'll run well on Saturday and get to the finish line first on Saturday.
And just talk us through your emotions watching the Custodian, because in the early stages he was way out the back, looked to have a lot of ground to make up, but he ate it up down the stretch.
Well, I was in Louisville, Kentucky, watching on my phone, and he wasn't in the picture, and that didn't bother me so much. But they didn't show the splits on the feed I was watching, and the announcer kept saying that they were going really, really fast, and I was hoping that he was right, that we'd eventually get in the picture and make a run at the end.
And is that a setup you're hoping for again on Saturday, a strong pace, and for the leaders to come back to you?
That would be nice. I don't know that we're going to get as strong a pace as they had in the Custodian, but you never know. There's a couple of grass horses in this race. One's never been on the dirt, and who knows how they're gonna react. Maybe it'll be a little faster up front. Maybe it'll be a little slower. But I think with Joel Rosario riding on Saturday. We've got a top jock that can figure that out as the race goes.
And a top jock, Kenny, not just in America, but a top jock that's enjoyed great success here in Saudi Arabia. He knows the track, he knows racing here very well.
Well, our normal rider on this horse has been Brian Hernandez, and of course, Brian won the Derby and the Oaks for me last spring. But Joel is a fantastic rider. He's won a lot of races for me in his career. You really don't have to give him any instructions. I've used the analogy that you don't tell Picasso or Rembrandt how to paint. You just hand them a brush. Joel won't get any instructions. We'll let him do what he knows how to do well, and very confident that he can get this horse there.
And how pleased have you been with the horse's preparation since you got here, and how much did you leave to work on coming through the custodian, moving on to the Saudi Cup?
Well, this morning is probably as good as I've seen this horse gallop, maybe in his career. I mean, he just seems to be getting better and better and better. As an older horse, he's trained and he's run hard his entire career, and we have a routine where he goes the wrong way. He jogs almost a mile and a quarter before he gallops, but that's good for him and gives him plenty of time to stretch his legs before he turns around. But this morning he was fantastic, and if we can get that kind of gallop into him tomorrow, then we've done all our work, and then it's up to Joel and the horse.
And how strong do you rate the opposition you beat? The best of the locals here last time out, but he's got a whole different team to take on this time around, including, as Mike touched on, Romantic Warrior.
Well, I've paid a little bit of attention to the competition, but I honestly don't put much energy into trying to train or analyze other people's horses. I think Romantic Warrior is obviously a unique horse. It's going to be interesting to see how he transitions from turf to dirt. I've got a bit of a background in looking at horses at auction and how they're made and what type of surfaces they should like. And him being a son of acclamation with Royal Plaza on the top line would somewhat he'd be inclined to be a grass horse. So how he transitions over is going to be very, very interesting. And I think that's the cool thing about racing horses. I think a good horse can run over mostly any surface. And it's such an inexact science. But the rest of them I haven't really had a great chance to look at. But I know that my horse is doing fantastic.
And that's the nice thing about these big international events, be it a Breeders' Cup or here at the Saudi Cup, that we get people like yourself coming over, and you get all of the different sort of nations of the world coming together and taking each other on. Is that an element of the sport that you really enjoy?
I do. I've been fortunate enough. I started traveling to Brazil in 2002, and I bought a horse named Hardbuck there years ago that was a horse that took me worldwide. He was the first horse that I ran in Dubai, and he took me to the King George in England. And I think events like this are exactly why the thoroughbred is so special, because it connects the whole world. I mean, whether you're an American trainer, English trainer, Irish, Japanese, Australian, I mean, I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out, but you really have this common denominator of being around the thoroughbred, and it's such an amazing animal. I myself have been worldwide because of the thoroughbred racehorse, and just extremely blessed.
Okay, well, we'll open to any questions from the floor. If anyone's got any questions for Mike or for Kenny, we can get a microphone to you. Nahiro?
Good morning. I'm Nahiro Goda from Green Channel, Tokyo, Japan. I'd like to ask you, Ken, trainer of the Rat and Roll. Rat and Roll didn't run last year until November.
Yes.
Absent about 1 year, and bounced back rapidly. They won the Clark Handicap at the Churchill Downs impressively. I think it's a great, beautiful training performance from Ken McPeek. But what was wrong for him, and why did he have to have a 1 year absence? And is there any more, worrying factor now?
Well, great question, because it's an easy answer. He had a mild case of distal bone bruising. So I don't know how much of all of you know, or people out there know about the way the distal bone, a horse can get when the cannon bone comes into the ankle, they get a bruise on the end, and he needed time. and it wasn't something that we were sure how long. And I remember calling Mike, and I said, "Well, I think he's going to need 60 to 90 days." And then, we depend on Larry Bramlage in Kentucky, top veterinarians, one of the people that I lean on most when it comes to issues with our horses. And we X-rayed him at the end of 3 months, and I called Mike and said, "Larry says he needs 3 more months." Okay.
And then another 3 months.
and then more. And we wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for Mike and his family, because they said, "Okay, whatever he needs. If he needs time, give him time." Nothing surgical, very minor, but it was one of those things that it took time for his bones to heal, and he's rewarded us for it. And I think that's the great thing about being here today, is that many people would have given up on this horse and not taken that time. And Mike's always said, do the right thing. It's no problem. When he's ready, he's ready.
Thank you very much.
You're
Good luck
welcome.
to you on Saturday. Thank you.
You were really bullish about him before the Breeders' Cup, trying to get into the race. And obviously, we're justified after that with how he's run and progressed since. How much has he come forward after that time off from his form before? Because it seems to be a pretty marked improvement for him, even for a horse that was a Grade 1 winner too.
Well, Mike made a good point earlier. This horse would probably be much more recognizable if he had been able to get into the Kentucky Derby, because that race ended up being a closer's race, and he would have benefited from the fast pace. And of course, Rich Strike won that year, and we were every bit as good as Rich Strike, but we didn't get in. And then for us to get excluded in the Breeders' Cup Classic was another deal, where we were fingers crossed we could draw in. He didn't get in. If he were to win that race, of course, that was another fast pace, and really came into it. So here we are today. To answer your question, we've approached him a little bit differently the older he's gotten. I admittedly was quite aggressive with him when I ran him as a 3-year-old. He ran one time back in 7 days, and won. Well, he didn't win the second time, but he really should have. That was another deal. He had a little troubled traffic issue in the race at Indiana Derby. But now we're spacing his races more, and I think he, what I would call, fires a bigger shot when you space his races more. And so I think that's really, at this age for him, coming back with more time really benefits it.
Good stuff. Gail?
Yep. A slight digression, but I'm sure anybody who follows swimming would be interested to know how Torpedo Anna got her name.
Yeah, so the Torpedo Anna, our stable queen, right? Mark Edwards, of course, I bought her as a yearling. And then when I went to the sale, usually after I sign the ticket on a horse, people read the results and I get calls. And Mark called and said, I see you bought a filly. Can I buy a piece? And I said, sure. And so he bought a piece right away. And first thing he said is, can I name her? I said, sure, no problem. Everybody loves naming a horse, right? So he had a dog. His granddaughter's name is Anna Thorpe, and she is a very successful swimmer in Owensboro, Kentucky. And Anna was nicknamed Torpedo Anna after the swimmer, the Thorpe, the swimmer, Australian swimmer. I'm sure Gail is aware of. And so initially, I can remember the breeder of the horse cringing, going, Torpedo, they spelled it wrong. And no, they didn't spell it wrong. And I gave her the explanation. And of course, today it's a fantastic name when they win so many Grade 1s that she's won. I hope one day we could give her a chance to perform here and some other big races.
Okay, any more? No. Well, thanks to both of you, to Mike and to Ken. As you say, the idea of the whole world coming together with the Thoroughbreds, brilliant, and it's great to see you guys both here today. We wish you the best of luck on Saturday.
Pleasure being here. It's just a world-class event, and I want to give a tip of the hat to Prince Bandar. I mean, I can remember going to Saratoga 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, and they had a fantastic presentation of their idea and what they were trying to do with the Saudi Cup, and to actually be here today and participate in it. But they need to be commended. and I'm sure they are, but for all their hard work and effort, and certainly job well done for this event to become such a unique and world-class event.
Good words. Thank you to you both, and best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.